Hello and welcome to another episode of Change. We want to become the change makers of today. And the small changes that we make today would design our tomorrow and a better tomorrow for everyone. Everybody looks forward to this positive change. And yet sometimes we become victims of our own self. Sometimes we fail to bring about pretty small basic changes in our own lives. These are the challenges that define us. And every challenge is an opportunity to bring about a change in oneself. If we want to bring about a change, let's see how we face these challenges. Today, to help us cope up with these challenges, we have Rajyogini Brahma Kumaris Sister Usha with us to offer her insights. Didi, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Change is something that we know that is essential to our life's journey. Sometimes we want to make changes in our lives. Sometimes we face challenges when we bring about a change. In environments like when we work with many people, especially in work field, we see that the other person is not changing himself or herself. And we think that it is time that they have to bring about this change. But often it is seen that how do we get that change to happen? Because we think that the other person is not capable. Not capable not just because of his or her educational abilities or professional abilities, but just because of his or her attitude towards change.
Yes.
So, what do you think about attitude and how closely change is connected to bring about an attitudinal change?
Today's world, we find that sometimes, as you just mentioned, challenges, that there are certain challenges where people are not able to face those challenges, or maybe they are not able to overcome some of their weaknesses during those challenges, and so that they do not get exposed in front of others. That's when they feel that it's high time that I use my attitude as a weapon. And when they start using that attitude as a weapon to protect themselves, that's when they are causing so much damage to themselves only. And beautifully, I read somewhere, challenges are there for everyone. But for some, challenges open the doors to new opportunities. And for some, these challenges give them a great setback and they regret throughout their lives. So for whom does these challenges open the doors to new opportunities? And for whom does these challenges give them a great setback and regret the whole life? Beautifully, it was written there, at the time of challenges, those who make right choices, for them, new doors to opportunities are opened up. And those who make wrong choices, for them, the doors are closed. So the whole game of life is challenges and choices. What is my choice at the time of challenges? And if I'm going to make a wrong choice of showing my attitude or bringing out the negative within me in form of ego maybe, arrogance, I'm making a wrong choice. The whole game of life is challenges and choices. Each challenge that comes in life, what is my choice? Whether I am trying to adopt negative or positive. The choice that I make is going to shape my life. And that is where, when I'm consciously making that choice, that's why it is said to change the attitudes of people is very difficult. Because he himself, the person himself, has made that choice. So it is difficult for us to change their attitude. But then the change has to come from the person himself by having this realization that I've made a wrong choice. And that's why I'm leading my life. The roadmap that I've taken for my life is going to take me to such a point from where it is going to be very difficult for me to come back. When that realization is there, maybe that's when a person with conscious efforts and awareness takes the right roadmap. We find that all the successful people, if we see their lives, how they reach that roadmap of success, and they have made their life something, or who are mentors or ideals for others, it is only when they made a right choice in their life. There was somebody to give them wisdom, guide them, and they listened to that wisdom. Maybe it was from the inner conscious, or maybe some external person who became a mentor and guided them, that they made right choices. And that is how they went up to that ladder and the top. But those who make wrong choices out of maybe their own ego, or trying to hide something, or having fear about something, so many fears in our life. Fear of failure, fear of being criticized, fear of means not exposing themselves to others. So these fears, and if I am an embodiment of that fear, that's when a person makes wrong choices, which is leading to another, the doors are closed, it is taking them to another direction, and by the time they move so much and they realize, it's very difficult for them to come back.
Attitude is one thing that I think on a larger compass helps us make a lot of choices. In today's time, there are people with positive and good attitudes as well, but there are some people with their positive attitudes, they have some negative attitudes too. Some people have a positive attitude towards life, that no matter what happens to them, what situations, however worse the situations might come, they have a positive outlook. Their attitude is positive. But what I want to ask you is about the younger people, the children, especially the children. I've heard from so many parents now that, what to do? He has this attitude. My child has this kind of attitude. I've tried to change him so many times, but it doesn't help. He picks up fights. That has become his attitude now. They know, they're teaching their children that it is not correct, but they're unable to bring about a change in their attitudes. So first, how does this attitude form? How does it become somebody's attitude?
In India, maybe you might have heard about the Garbha Sanskars, maybe the hereditary, which comes from the parents' DNA, And when the mother is carrying the child in the womb, definitely she goes through a lot of ups and downs in the moods. The mood swings are such during that time that sometimes she becomes so hyper, and during that time, when there is no one to guide the mother, that look, this attitude or your mood swings is creating an attitude or creating your DNA such, which is harming the child's DNA, and that's why the child will also become such. Recently, there was a couple that came to me and said that my daughter-in-law, she's pregnant and she goes through an extreme of the mood swings. That sometimes we are not able to control her. We are not able to guide her. We are not able to satisfy what, and the attitude she shows, we understand it is her mood swings. We try to fulfill whatever she demands. But this is making everything worse. And we can see that. But she doesn't see that. How can we help her? They were feeling pity for the daughter-in-law. And they wanted to help her. But they did not know. So I said, the only thing you can tell her or make her realize, if you can, look, you are creating such attitude in your child because he is picking up those things from you, and in the future you will have to tolerate your own child, which will become very difficult for you to handle, yourself and your child, because you won't have the strength, because this is the hereditary sanskars that are being, the impressions, hereditary impression that is being passed by yourself only. And you'll have to face that. Maybe then she'll realize. In our ancient times, when the mother was pregnant, definitely they used to send her to some spiritual gathering, to the temples, so that she is able to control her mood swings in such a way so that the child is not very hyper. And this is where nowadays in the Eastern world, especially in Japan, where the pregnant ladies are specially sent to such centers, where they are trying to educate the child from the womb itself, so that he is a genius child when he is born, and he does not need to go through the preliminary stage of study, but he is quite mature enough when he comes out into the world. Similarly, in India also, we have also started Divine Garb Sanskar project, where the mothers are trained to be quiet, calm, tranquil. At the same time, the child in the womb also is being educated or spiritually guided, given that wisdom, so that when he is born, he comes out into this world, he would be more mature and more able to handle his own attitudes in a particular way.
There are some people who are lucky-go-happy kind of people, but there are some people who, their attitude is of worrying. It has become their attitude. For every simple thing they would worry. And no matter how many times I would tell you that, why are you worrying so much? There is nothing to think about it. Especially when exams would come. When they would know the exam is coming in a month, they would start worrying. I said, why worry? You also have to write, I also have to write. But it has become their attitude. So, but we would, over the years we saw him that this is his attitude.
Yes.
Whether it was because of his parents' upbringing or the kind of environment that he was brought up in. But we wanted to change, but we did not know how to bring about a change like that. So, when an attitude like this forms, what can we do to help?
The only thing we can do is, we must find out what he's holding on to. There is some sort of phobia maybe, or maybe some belief system that he's holding on to. So this is where we can help him to bring about a change and give him a new insight that you can hold on to this belief as well. You can see something in this way also.
Not asking him to give up at the same time, but along with this, take this also.
Take this also.
Yeah.
Because it will be very difficult if you ask him to give up. Otherwise, he will feel as if he doesn't have something to hold on to. So first, give him something to hold on to, so that he can see both the sides, this side and that side as well. Then maybe he can change. That realization can bring a change in him. So the only help that I can give him is, give him something better. So me being detached, I am seeing where he is making this mistake, and because of this attitude he is going to suffer. So let us give him a better option. Okay, you have been trying in this way. Can you try something this way as well? Try if it suits you. We have to be lenient. I cannot force or induce. No, you have to do this. This is where we make mistake. Sometimes we find parents, they also want to induce something in that, and that's when the child becomes very reactive. He resists, reacts, and then he is totally against. So don't induce. I don't want to change him at this moment itself, but give him some time and space.
Very
Give him
beautifully
better.
when you say that, I don't want him to change at this moment.
Yes.
Most of us would want that change instantaneously.
Yes, instant now. Change. You have to change. You have to change. You have to do this. No. Give him the freedom. Give him that insight as well. Some better options. Allow it to happen in a natural way.
So change is a gradual process.
Yes, it has to be. We have to give some time. We have to give some time. Because maybe his maturity level is not that much that he can instantly bring about change by immediately you telling him one thing. Sometimes we find that parents, they want their children, no, but he should understand, Why doesn't he understand? But how much time we took to understand this? Just imagine. We also took a lot of time to understand something. Now we are mature, so we can understand and see. But when our parents were telling us, they would say, but when our parents used to tell us, we immediately used to follow. That was a different time.
Yes.
Because we were not exposed to so much of information, or we did not have that much of insight. But today's children, they are exposed because of the media.
There's a
Social
huge flux of information
Yes.
available. Yeah.
So they think they know better than you.
Yes. Every generation makes a mistake. It always thinks that our generation is smarter than the previous one.
Yes. So we can see, being detached, we can see what mistake he's doing. So we gradually, in another way, try this way. Maybe this can help you also. It can be faster also. So when he tries it out, because the moment I force, he would resist. But the moment I give him another option, try it in this way or this way, 2, 3 options, he would think, okay, let me do it this way. So that is when he makes his own choice. And help him. You can take this choice or this choice as well. See which one you like, which one will help you. Or try out in both ways. And then you can see whether your way is better or this way is better. Which way is working out for you. So that's when today's children are trained in that manner. So in order to bring a change in their attitudes, we have to give them options. And at the same time, wisdom. But we can't force them into that change.
What I see most often is there is a parental concern for that change, but we do not know how to impart that wisdom. We do not know how to give those choices, to create those choices in front of people.
Because maybe the parent are still seeing the child in them. And they feel they are more mature.
Yes.
So that is why the overprotectiveness of the parent sometimes is harming, and it is making the child more stubborn. So instead of being overprotective and forcing the child to do something in a particular way you want to, it's not going to work. And this is where they will move away from others.
Let's talk about adults for a moment. Now, a person who is adult, even if he is a young adult, like maybe 17, 18, 19, 20, teenagers, late teenagers as well, their attitude is pretty much formed now. pretty much, not entirely, but pretty much formed. So some people have developed a good attitude, some people develop some different kinds of attitudes. I would not say negative attitudes. Nowadays we use this term as, oh, she has an attitude, he has an attitude, in a very I would say derogatory way. That means that we cannot deal with them because he has this kind of attitude. And the moment you hear about a person, you create an image of them. Okay, he has this attitude and we cannot. Oh, he has an arrogant attitude. So I would create an image of it that I would not want to approach the person altogether. But like you said, the other statement also, that you have to create those choices for them. You have to bring about those wisdom, and even though I might not be in a position to mentor someone, but at least I must be there to mend their ways.
Yes, be in a friendly way. Be a friend. That's why for parents also it is said that you have to be a friend to your child after 15. You have to be a friend. So similarly for the elders also, who are adults also, who have already created those attitudes. Now to bring a change in them, well, I would not say I can change his attitude, but at least we can give him a good realization, be a friend with him, share something good every time. Good, say maybe not with the intention that you have this attitude, so I'm trying to change your attitude in this way, but being friendly and then sharing some stories, nice talks, some nice thoughts maybe. And when we share that thought, sometimes maybe, it can click in the person. It's just that spark that is needed. And when the spark is there, things start changing. Person starts thinking, contemplating on it, and maybe he gets into that realization also, which will help him to change at that time. So it's not me who is changing, it's actually the realization he's getting from that beautiful thought. That's why in the corporate world also, they have made this a system that, okay, every day morning, everyone receives a beautiful thought on their mobile. They have to read. Sometimes some people like it, appreciate. Some people accept also. And then some people ponder onto it. And in that, some thought, there's a spark that takes place. It is like a intuition maybe that is clicked, and the person thinks something beautiful, and that's when the change starts. So it's not it is coming from inside only, but those thoughts also can help.
Here, when you say the person himself is making that change, there are some times when we encounter that we have some bad attitudes. We want to make those changes. I know that it is my bad attitude and I have to bring about a change in this. On the final note, I would want to know how can I bring about this change? How?
Beautifully, I read somewhere that open and close are opposite terms. But in practical life, if I'm open to others, in order to bring that change, if I keep myself open and come closer to one another, that's when the change starts, maybe. Because that's when the person feels this person is my well-wisher. So when he has this trust and belief in that person, that's what he will never think ill of me. He will never think bad of me. I have trust in this person. So I need to come close. Not with the intention I'm going to change him. Let me just appreciate and accept him as he is. And as I come close to that person, then the person will develop trust in me. And with that trust, definitely, the person starts changing.
Wow. As much as you say it It appears so simple, and I think it is that simple. Only thing is if we would allow that thing to happen.
Yes,
Thank you very much for sharing those beautiful insights, Devi.
it's my pleasure.
Changing somebody's attitude might appear like an uphill journey, but it starts with the single step that you are not here to make that change. You're just here to help the other person make that change. And attitudinal shifts, attitudinal changes can be difficult at times, but do not expect instantaneous results. It is a task that has to be done collectively, and it is possible. That's all on this week's Change. We'll come back again. Till then, take care.